appealed to the president to have a conference on violence and urban reconstruction in Chicago. This is the epicenter of urban violence, but it's not just Chicago, it's Chicago, but it's Newark, you see St. Louis, it's LA. We need help desperately.
Civil rights activists are calling for Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel to resign after another suspicious police-involved shooting in Chicago. With me now, Newsmax columnist and former Republican candidate for Chicago Mayor, William Kelly. William, it's great to have you on today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us, Dennis.
William, what's going on? Should this mayor step down or what?
100% yes, and it's not just me calling for the mayor to resign. We have people in every area of the city of Chicago calling for Rahm Emanuel to resign, okay? Democrat, Republican, white, black, it's unanimous. Rahm Emanuel must go.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, you ran in the most recent election, and unfortunately for conservatives, you lost. What would you be doing in this exact situation had you won that election?
Well, Dennis, I have to be 100% clear as a lifelong Chicagoan. The number one thing that the mayor of the city of Chicago should be doing right now is cleaning the streets of snow, making sure that the streets are safe, making sure that the schools are running. But Rahm Emanuel instead is on a vacation in communist Cuba. I can tell you right now that this is wrong on so many different levels. If you were an elected official and there was and you were being called on to resign, there was a recall effort. The Democrats, your own party, was pushing to remove you from office. Would you go on vacation at all? I think the obvious answer is
all right,
no.
but you know what? But all right, but I'm going to hold your feet to the fire here a little bit, William, even though I'm a conservative. I want some solid answers here, okay? Because let me tell you, last year, about 2 months, maybe 14 months ago, I had spent a couple of days in South Chicago, and a police officer toured me around some, and the place looks like an absolute hellhole. It doesn't even look like America. I couldn't believe I was in there. And what residents were telling me is that they have to mow their lawn and go food shopping, what have you, between 6 a.m. and 1 p.m., because at 1 p.m. that place turns into hell in a way that Americans don't recognize. And the cop was telling me, listen, they don't trust us, and we're at the point we don't trust them. What needs to be done to bridge that gap? And it's more than shoveling snow.
Yes, indeed. Rahm Emanuel is never really connected with the city of Chicago. It takes a leader. I believe that all problems can be solved with the right leadership. I grew up literally on the south side of Chicago in between the police families of the 19th Ward and the gang shootings, okay? I know these two communities, and Chicago's a real city with real people. We just need a real mayor, somebody who understands and cares, and who can show that. Okay, the mayor of the city of Chicago should the night of that shooting, the most recent shooting, the mayor should have been there. Okay, he should have been talking to the residents. He should have been giving a press conference, receiving and giving information to the people of the city of Chicago. Our mayor is AWOL. He's in communist Cuba. Okay, this is.
Right, well, let me throw something out to you, William. Let me throw you something out, because I've thought a lot about this. And then, I mean, look, this whole thing that's taking place in Chicago, it's the newest cop shooting where one side thinks that the cops are against blacks, and then it's the other side that says people don't understand how dangerous it is to be a cop. I mean, this guy's running around with a gun, and it's got the orange point cut off of it, and I mean, it looks and feels like a gun, and these guys are trying to save their own lives and protect the lives of others. And when I turn around and I look at something like South Chicago, and I'm there firsthand, you tell me if you don't agree with this. It has to start with getting the dirtbags off the streets. We've got 10% of the population causing 90% of the havoc. Why can't the strongest nation on planet Earth get control of one section of a city?
Dennis, well, first of all, thank you. I truly appreciate hearing somebody say what I've been saying for the last 20 years. But sadly, that was the easy answer. 20 years ago, that would have been the easy answer. It's far worse than that now, Dennis. What we have now is a president from the South Side of Chicago who has been completely silent on what's happening in Rahm-occupied Chicago. Okay, he wasn't silent when it came to Ferguson, was he? He wasn't silent when it came to Baltimore. But yet, when it comes to the city of Chicago, our president is completely silent. He hasn't. He certainly hasn't come to the city of Chicago to. There's a cover-up going on here, Dennis, and I don't think that that's even. I don't think that that's even a question. Rahm Emanuel held that the video of the prior shooting, the shooting before this, that kind of touched this whole off as a national issue. He held that video back until after his re-election. I busted the caps by giving a $100,000 contribution to my own campaign. Busted the caps the same week that Laquan McDonald shooting took place. Rahm Emanuel kept that video under wraps until after the election for a reason. He knew that.
Listen, there's no doubt. William, let me cut in because we're shy on time here. We're 45 seconds left. Let me just tell you that I agree with you, and I think most Americans would like to see Emanuel gone. And the fact that the president of the United States used to represent Chicago and Illinois, and he's not doing anything about this, is reflective of not only Democrats, not only reflective of the worst president we've ever had in this nation's history, but what will happen if Hillary Clinton is president. I got to go at this, William. Thanks so much. Thanks for being with me. Up next, GOP frontrunner Donald Trump has fighting words for New Hampshire paper and fellow candidate Chris Christie.